Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm back with another Bible journaling process for you. I am back working in my illustrating Bible. This is the new NIV version from Dayspring. I will have that linked down below, as well as my review video if you're curious about that and want to see the details. But I am jumping into the newest devotional kit from Open.Journey. This is Transfiguration. I will link my unboxing down below. This does come in physical or digital format, so depending on how you want to work through it, you have both those options, and I cover all of that in the unboxing video. But today I'm just kind of diving in and doing my initial start of the devotional. So I haven't really dug into studying the passage here in Matthew 17 about Christ's transfiguration, but I do want to do some word study with the word transfigured. And so that's what I'm going to do here in the margin. Ingrid offers several passages and verses for us to look at, so I'll be able to jump around and journal in those areas as well as I go through the study of this passage. So I have a few things pulled out. I've mixed and matched some past kits. You can get the kits, like I said, in digital format. So like I've pulled out several floral die cuts. I think these are from the prayer, was it Prayer of the Heart, Prayer of the Heart, I believe, kit. I'll try to link it down below, but you can get that in digital format. So you could get these elements if you don't have that kit. Basically, I just have a giant little tray here. I'll link these down below as well, because you guys always ask about these, with all of my die cuts from Open.Journey. So I have mixed and matched everything from past kits and just thrown it in here, whatever my leftovers are, and that way I can pull from them. So a lot of Ingrid's kits incorporate these floral pieces, and so then I'm going to mix that in with some of the die cut pieces from the kit itself. I've gone ahead and typed out, I pulled out my Strong's Concordance and did the kind of definition and verse references and things like that for the word. And it's Open.Journey, so you know I'm going to get messy. I have some texture paste, some inks, all kinds of fun things to play with as we put this together. I have a stencil. I think this is from the Illuminate kit, and then I have some leftover stickers from the Illuminate kit that I'm going to use as well. But use what you have in your stash, or check out those other past kits from Open.Journey. I do believe she still has some of these in the shop, so you can grab those. They are all super, super good. So let me go ahead and put you guys on fast forward as we journal through Matthew 17. Okay, so I have a lot to cover in this video, so I have slowed it down a little bit more than some of my typical videos, so we can squeeze all the art and all the heart in there all at the same time. So I'm going to start out with this stencil up at the top. This is from the Illuminated kit. I'm not sure if she sells these in the shop individually. If she does, I'll have it linked down below. If not, it's a part of the kit. And I'm going to put some texture paste through this, and I wanted some gold texture paste. So I'm using some clear, some transparent texture paste and mixing it with some gold acrylic ink. Now, in a recent video, I did use some texture paste, but that was matte opaque texture paste. This is transparent. It's different. The transparent works better with metallic mediums. If you mix metallics with the opaque matte texture paste, you lose the metallic property quite a bit. It mattifies whatever you're mixing in there. So the transparent does mute down the metallic. You'll see there's a big difference when I swipe this on. It's kind of more of a buttery color than what it is in the ink jar. But the transparent does allow the ink to maintain some of its metallic properties. So when this dries, it will have some of that metallic sheen. You want to be careful with your ratios. You want this as thick as possible so that you get a good impression. The ink is very runny, so you want to be very careful how much of that ink you add into the transparent texture paste that you're working with. So I set that aside to dry. We're going to go on to painting these florals, and I'm working on a new palette. This is something I threw together really quick before I did this video. I've used the non-stick craft sheets in the past. I do love those. I still have them. They're great, but they're brown, so it's kind of hard to see the color. It's hard on camera because they're kind of big. All this palette is just a piece of 5x7 white cardstock put into a laminator sleeve and run through my laminator. It's just a laminated white piece of cardstock, so it's plasticky, but it's white so I can see colors. So I will try to link the laminator I use down below, just a quick and easy little tip here. And then I am painting with distress inks. I picked these because they are very vibrant, very like punchy with the color. They work like watercolors, so they're not going to cover up the black lines of these die cuts, and they don't take a lot of water to use. Because I'm painting on the die cuts, I don't want to ruin them with too much water, so I want to use as little water as possible. You could do this with watercolors or Neocolor 2 crayons or something like that, but you may have issues with it being too wet or not getting the color, blended in well. So distress inks just kind of work a little bit better for this technique. I'm using seedless preserves, milled lavender, faded jeans, scattered straw, squeezed lemonade, and peeled paint. If you have questions about colors that I use, these are the colors. Most of these are the colors that I color swatched for this kit, which is over on my blog. If you ever have questions about colors that match particular kits, I always have those on my blog at LindseyDecor.com. So as I paint this in, I'm not really adding water to the ink. It's just the water that's in my brush is activating the ink. And I want lots of white space. So I'm only adding like splotches of color to these. I'm kind of letting my paintbrush dance across the die cut. I'm laying down the darkest color in the areas where Ingrid already did the shading. So these die cuts have little shaded lines in the areas of the flowers where they would be dark or have shadows. And so that's where I'm laying the color down initially. Sometimes I'll put water down first and then drop the color in. Sometimes I'll just use a little bit of water to draw the color out. I'm not doing anything fancy or skilled. It's just plopping some color on there. When it comes to what colors I picked, why did I pick these colors? I definitely wanted to use purple. Purple is in the kit. Jesus is majestic and holy. And so I just felt like it needed purple for talking about Jesus. And then I picked a complementary color. So blue and red make purple. So purple and blue go together. And then yellow is opposite of purple. So yellow, if you mix yellow and purple, you get brown. You don't want that. But yellow pops off of purple. If you have questions about color theory, what colors to use, what colors go together, what colors don't go together, I do have a Tip Tuesday all about color. I will link that down below. That might be helpful to some of you as you pick colors and things. So I'm just kind of using a combination of those, keeping in mind where these are going to go on my page so that I have, I don't want only blue at the top and only purple at the bottom. I want things kind of spread out in different places. So I let those dry. I love how these came out. You'll see some close-up photos on my Instagram to really see the detail of these florals. And I am going to cover some of the text. I know that bothers some people. In your Bible, you can do whatever you want. I've talked about this in the past. This Bible in particular, I only use for art worship. So I don't read and study from this Bible, so it's okay if I cover up the text. If you don't like that, you can print these. You can purchase these as the digital and print the die cuts smaller. You could work in the Interleave Bible, which has an entire blank page. You can move things over, scale things down. So lots of different options. Just use my videos as inspiration and then adjust things as you're comfortable with. So I'm just going to kind of rearrange things on here to make everything fit. I want to stamp some numbers behind this little cluster. Because I did some study out of the Strong's Concordance, I wanted the Strong's Concordance reference number, which is G3339 for the word transfigured. I have a video all about Strong's Concordance if you don't know what that is or how to use it or what that means or what those numbers are. So I'll try to link that down below for you guys as well. So I'm using these Tim Holtz foam letters and numbers. I think that these are going away. I don't think they're producing these anymore, which is a bummer because they're very inexpensive. They're great for mixed media. So if I can find them on the market still, I will link them down below for you guys. Snatch them up while you can find them. I know Tuesday Morning sometimes has them, other like discount places like that. And these are kind of a staple for me. And the font works great with a lot of the fonts that Ingrid uses in her kits. So I'm just inking this up with some gold ink. I'm going to stamp that behind the cluster. For the rest of the video, I don't really do anything too wild and crazy and ingenious. So let's talk a little bit about this passage. As I sat down to do this, I pulled out the Blue Letter Bible app. I've talked about that app before. They have a lot of commentaries. I think I talk about this in the Strong's Concordance video as well, how to use the Blue Letter Bible app. But they have commentaries from a variety of people. They are highly educated, well-scholared biblical people that study the text and study the history and the context and give you commentary, just a further in-depth look into verses and passages. And so there's so much on this passage in Matthew 17 and the Transfiguration. Really would encourage you guys to read it. They go into details about, trying to figure out what mountain it is. Like today, what mountain location is this that Christ was on with these apostles or disciples that he took, Peter, James, and John, up on this mountain? They have commentary and discussions about why they think Christ picked Peter, James, and John out of all of the disciples. Why did he pick those three, and kind of their thought process? And just remember, it isn't what Scripture's saying. It's based off of their knowledge and history and studying, and it's just comments on it. And so it kind of digs into lots of interesting facts, like how the entire passage and Transfiguration in chapter 17 is an answer to the promise that Christ makes in just the verse above, chapter 16, verse 28. And in that verse is Christ speaking to his disciples, and he says, "Truly I say to you," he's talking to the disciples, "there are some of those who are standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." What does that mean? He answers that. That happens in passage 17. Some of these disciples that he's talking to, those three, get to see the glorified form of Christ before they die. Now, what does that mean? Typically, Christians, majority of Christians, don't get to see Christ in his glorified form until we die, until we're in heaven with him. We get to see him next to the throne at the right hand of God. We will get to see the glorified Christ. These three apostles are getting to see that and witness that before they die. So that is what he's referencing here in 16:28. And so it goes on to further kind of go into the Transfiguration and what the true miracle of the Transfiguration is. This was mind-blowing to me. The Transfiguration itself isn't necessarily the miracle. The miracle is that Christ is basically carrying a mask the entire time he's on earth up until this point. He appears like you and me. We're not getting to see his glorified form and that's the miracle, is that he's kind of covering that up. Now, I do believe that Christ was fully human, fully God when he was on earth. And so this glorified version, he's still human. He just looks different. And that's what we're seeing in this Transfiguration. He's letting that mask fall and revealing himself to these three disciples, the glorified version of him, which is still fully man, fully God. Very, very interesting. Definitely check out the commentary. Lots more to study. I can't wait to go through this study. Like I said, I haven't really done a whole lot in this passage before, so it's all kind of new and exciting for me. And I hope it's intriguing and exciting for you as well. So on screen here, I've gone ahead and popped some things up on some foam adhesive. I added some more texture paste. You saw that I kept my texture paste in one of those little paint pots. That keeps it from drying out in case I change my mind like I did here and wanted to add more. It keeps it wet so I can add some more if I need to. And then I'm finishing off with some more of those gold stickers. Sometimes you just add an embellishment and you're like, yes, that's the finishing touch. And those definitely were a requirement. Add some really nice, fun pops of metallic to the page. I'm also going to add in some stickers from the kit. Sorry, we got kids yelling, dogs barking, school going. Like I said, it's just going to be noisy in my house for a little bit. And that is really going to be it for the entry. I left myself that big chunk of room right in the middle where I could take notes based off of my commentary study. On the back here, you can see no bleed through at all. This is not a prepped page. And that is going to be it. So if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below for me. Check out the description box for links to everything that I used today. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.